Welcome back, dear children. So we were discussing about total reflecting prisms. So in that, first case was over. That is to deviate, use of a total reflecting prism to deviate a light ray by 90 degree. And what is its use? It is used in a periscope. Now we will move to the second one. That is to deviate a light ray by 180 degree. Okay. Now we are going to check how a light ray can be deviated by 180 degree. So for that, I am drawing the total reflecting prism. So here it is right angled isosceles prism, isn't it? So this is 90 degree. These two angles are 45 degree each. Now I am keeping an object PQ. Okay. If an object is like this and if we make it in this direction, we can say that deviation by 90 degree. This was the actual object. So when it is made to move like this, that is 90 degree. If it is in the opposite direction, then you can say that it is deviated by 180 degree. So that is what we are going to check now. So let the object PQ be like this. Okay. Then this there means PQ. This is our object. And now using this prism, we are going to rotate or deviate this by 180 degree. So first I am considering a light ray from Q. A, B, C. It hits on the surface BC. It is normal incidence. So what happens? It enters without any deviation. Now here, is it normal incidence on face AB? No. Here it makes an angle. How much? 45 degree. The angle formed here is 45 degree. So here, since the angle formed is 45 degree, what happens? It undergoes total internal reflection. Okay. It undergoes total internal reflection and hits on the surface AC. Here also same thing. It is not normal incidence. Here this angle, this entire part will be 90 degree. When you are drawing the normal, this entire part is 90 degree, isn't it? This is 90 degree, but this is half of 90 degree, 45 degree. So here the angle formed is 45 degree. So what happens again? Angle of incidence is greater than the critical angle. What was the critical angle of glass? 42 degree. So the ray comes down. So which was this? This was the point Q. Okay. Now I am starting from, and in all the cases please put the arrow mark, then only it will be a ray. From P. Here normal incidence, so it goes straight. Okay. At first this ray hits on the surface BC. There it is normal incidence 90 degrees. So no deviation will be there. It moves straight and hits the surface AB. Now here again the angle is 45 degree, which is greater than the critical angle. So it undergoes total internal reflection and it hits on the face AC. Here also that it undergoes total internal reflection because angle of incidence is greater than 42 degree. So what happens? It comes down. When it hits here, here it is normal incidence. So the ray will come out without any deviation. Now what is this point? This is P. So just check P to Q. Isn't it? So here also P to Q. Here the direction is in this way and there it is in the opposite. That is the ray gets deviated by 180 degree. So is it clear? When we draw this, what you have to remember is normal ആയിട്ട് ഇൻസിഡന്റ് ചെയ്താൽ 90 ഡിഗ്രി ആണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അത് സ്ട്രെയിറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് പോകും വിത്തൗട്ട് എനി ഡീവിയേഷൻ. പിന്നെ ഒരു ആംഗിൾ ഫോം ചെയ്യുകയാണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ടോട്ടൽ ഇന്റേണൽ റിഫ്ലക്ഷൻ ടേക്സ് പ്ലേസ്. Now here the ray gets deviated by 180 degree and this is used in camera and binocular. Okay. So in camera and binocular we are using this. Is it clear? Now we will move to the third use. So do you remember what was the third use? a total reflecting prism can be used in order to erect an inverted image. If you are having an inverted image, using a reflecting prism, total reflecting prism, you can make it erect. Okay, so we'll check how it takes place. So here also I have the total reflecting prism. I am naming it as A, B and C. So here I am keeping the object here. Let this be P, this be Q. So this is inverted. Okay, in order to represent this as inverted, I have drawn like this. Now when we get it here, it will be erect. So first ray we are considering from P. Okay, now the ray hits on the surface AB. Now what happens? Is it normal incidence? Will it undergo total internal reflection? No. For total internal reflection, the ray should move from a denser medium to a rarer medium. Here this is rarer to denser. Okay, so that is the first thing. We were continuously discussing about total internal reflection, but here on this surface we don't have total internal reflection. Why? The reason is here the ray is moving from rarer medium to denser medium. So I'll be drawing the normal here. This is the normal, and here I forgot to mark the angles. 90 degree, 45 degree, 45 degree. Okay. Then here the ray is moving from a rarer medium to a denser medium. So what happens? It undergoes refraction and it bends towards the normal, isn't it? So this is our normal. The ray bends towards the normal, and now it hits here. If it hits here, here the angle of incidence is 45 degree. Okay, here it hits at an angle of incidence 45 degree, which is greater than the critical angle. So what happens? Total internal reflection takes place and the ray reaches the surface AC. So here also we are drawing the normal, and here when we check, this angle is not the half of 90. 45 degree, it is easy to understand. 45 degree, half of 90, almost we will get that. But here you can see that this angle is less than 45 degree. So here the angle is less than 45 degree. So the ray won't undergo total internal reflection. So instead of that, what it will go out. And here the ray is moving from denser to rarer. If a ray moves from denser to rarer, what happens? It moves away from the normal. So it moved away from the normal, and which point is this? This is our point P. So is it clear till this? This is our object which is inverted. A ray coming from this hits on the surface AB, rarer to denser, so bends towards the normal, hits on the face BC. Here it makes an angle 45 degree, which is greater than the critical angle, undergoes total internal reflection, hits on the face AC. Here the angle is less than 45 degrees, so it undergoes refraction. It moves away from the normal. Now we will consider what the ray from the point Q. So here also it is moving from rarer to denser. So what happens? It moves towards the normal. Okay, the ray bends towards the normal and it hits here. Here it makes an angle 45 degree. That means total internal reflection takes place. So it hits on the face AC. Here if you consider the normal, it is the angle of incidence is less than 42 degree. So what happens? It moves out. And which point is this? This is from Q. Q to P was there. Now what happens? How will we get this? Q to P, I have drawn the arrow mark. So the inverted image gets converted to erect one. So is it clear? We are considering the object QP, which is inverted. two rays from Q and P we are considering. At first it undergoes refraction, then total internal reflection, then again refraction. So you will be getting the erect image. So what is given here, it gets inverted in the other side. Okay, and this is actually used in projectors. Okay, in projectors we are using this. So we were discussing about right angled isosceles prism or total reflecting prism. Here all the three rectangular surfaces, okay, light ray gets refracted through all the three rectangular surfaces and total internal reflection takes place in all the cases. Then first use was to deviate through 90 degree. It is used in periscope. Second one, deviate by 180 degree. It is used in camera or binocular. And the third one is to erect an inverted image. It is used in a projector. So is it clear? Now the next one is total internal reflection through an equilateral prism. Okay. Our next one is total internal reflection through an equilateral prism. So what is the specialty? All the angles will be 60 degree each. In the previous case 90, 45, 45. That was right angle isosceles prism. Okay, that is why 90 degree, 45, 45. In this case it will be 60 degree each. So A, B, C, anyway the sum of all the angles should be 180 degree. So we are considering an equilateral prism. This is the second one. And using an equilateral prism, the ray gets deviated by 60 degree. Okay. In an equilateral prism, the ray gets deviated by 60 degree. So we are going to consider total internal reflection in the case of an equilateral prism. Okay. So for this, I am considering a ray which hits on the face AB. So a ray hits on the face AB and what angle is found here? It is 90 degree. That means, is it possible? I'll just draw it again, else I can't draw the rest. Okay. Else space won't be there. So we are considering a ray which hits on the face AB and it makes an angle 90 degree with the surface. That means it goes without any deviation. So it goes without any deviation and it hits on the face AC. So here I am going to draw the normal. This is the normal. Now, when you are considering the normal, on both sides, across the normal we need 90 degrees and a normal is drawn at 90 degree. This angle is 60 degree. This angle is 60 degree. This angle is 90 degree because it is normal incidence. So what will be this angle? 60, 90. So naturally this will be 30 degree. If this angle is 30 degree, what will be this angle? This angle will be 60 degree. Did you understand? Because this is the normal. This normal is straight ആയിട്ട് വരും. ഈ ഒരു ലൈനിന്, ഈ ഒരു ഫേസിന് across ആയിട്ടാണ് normal വന്നിരിക്കുന്നത്. So ഇതിന്റെ അപ്പുറത്തും ഇപ്പുറത്തും we need the total sum as 90 degree. So from here this is 60, this is 90. So naturally this will be 30. ഇത് 30 ആണെങ്കിൽ this will be 60 degree. So here the angle of incidence at the face AC is 60 degree, which is greater than 42. That is critical angle of blast. So what happens? It undergoes total internal reflection. പുറത്തേക്ക് പോകാൻ പറ്റില്ല. It gets trapped inside that. Then it hits on the face BC. What type of incidence is this? Normal incidence. So it will go out without any deviation. So once again, ray first hits on the surface AB. Normal incidence, it goes straight and hits on the surface AC. You should remember the angles coming there. Okay. I just said actually it hits at an angle 30. This is how the angle 30 comes. That is why I said you just remember these values. This 60, this 90, this 30. This normal is drawn making an angle 90 degree. This total angle is 90. This 30 angle, this will be 60. then it undergoes total internal reflection and hits the surface BC. From there, normal incidence ayadonde it will come down. So this is the second one. Okay, so what is that? Here the deviation takes place through 60 degree. Okay, and this is the total internal reflection in the case of an equilateral prism. Okay, now the third one is total internal reflection through a right angled prism. Here the angles will be 90, 30 and 60. Okay. Okay, so this is our right angled prism A, B, C. This is 90 degree. This will be 30 degree and this is 60 degree. 60 plus 30, 90. 90 plus 90, 180. Okay, so this is our right angled prism. Now, we are going to consider a light ray which comes from the bottom. So it hits on the surface BC. When it hits on the surface BC, it makes an angle 90 degree. So what happens? It enters without any deviation. Now, here I have to draw the normal there, isn't it? So this is the normal. This angle is 90. This angle is 60. So what will be this angle? This will be 30. 90, 60. So this is 30. This 30 angle, this angle is 60 degree. Isn't it? So here the angle of incidence is 60 degree, which is greater than the critical angle. So the ray undergoes total internal reflection. Ray undergoes total internal reflection and it hits on the surface AB. Even normal varshu, and you can see that this angle is so less. Okay, it will be 30 degree. So in order to say about this 30 degree, you have to solve the entire triangle. So just remember this angle is 30 degree, which is less than the critical angle. So what happens? If it is less, total internal reflection won't take place. Normal refraction takes place and it will go out. It is moving from denser to rarer. That means it moves away from the normal. So once again, the third one is total internal reflection through an about right angle prism. So 90 degree, 30 degree, 60 degree prism. We are considering a light ray which hits on the surface BC. Here, since it is normal incidence, it will enter without any deviation and it hits on the surface AC. It makes an angle 60 here, which is greater than the critical angle. So it gets total internally reflected and it hits on the surface AB. Here the angle of incidence is less than the critical angle. So the ray gets refracted. So is it clear? Please study these diagrams for the prisms. 3 sets for first case, then 2 more, 5 sets. Okay. Please be thorough with this. One question will be shown from this prism. And now the next one given in your textbook is about the non-occurrence of total internal reflection. It is not needed. Okay, it's given in page number 97. Non-occurrence and exception, those two things are not needed. Study only these 5 diagrams. Now the next one is the use of total reflecting prism than a plane mirror. So in the case of a plane mirror, the rays gets reflected, isn't it? Similarly, when you are using we are having a prism, total internal reflection takes place and the rays gets reflected. Which one is better? So when we consider a total reflecting prism or a prism will reflect maximum light than when we use a plane mirror. In the case of plane mirror, when a light ray hits on a plane mirror, majority of the rays or maximum part or 90 or 95% of the light rays gets reflected, but some part, a few percentage gets absorbed and few gets refracted, so there will be loss. Okay, but if it is total reflecting prism, in the case of total internal reflection, the entire ray gets reflected, so there won't be any loss. So the image formed here using a total reflecting prism is brighter than what in the case of a mirror. So keep this in mind. In the case of total reflecting prism or a prism in which total internal reflection takes place, the image will be more brighter. The reason is here the entire ray gets reflected. In the case of plane mirror, some part gets refracted and some gets absorbed. So keep this in mind. And now the last part is about the consequences of total internal reflection. So many consequences are there. I'll just tell you one or two. Have you heard about mirage? Do you know what is mirage? That is when you are moving through desert. In desert region, we cannot see water bodies. So when we are moving on a desert and on a hot sunny day, it creates an illusion that water is there at a small distance from us. So we'll think that it is full of water and we'll go, but actually it won't be water. So mirage means actually it creates an illusion due to total internal reflection. An illusion is created there. Then again, diamond. You know that diamond shines most, isn't it? Do you know what is the reason? When you are taking a diamond, you can see many small cuts on it. Have you noticed? When you take diamond, many small cuts are there. So once the light gets trapped inside it, it undergoes total internal reflection. Actually, due to these cuts, the light gets trapped inside the diamond and it will be moving inside that. That is why it appears so shining. Another one, if a crack is there on a glass and when light falls on it, that part shines. So all these things are due to total internal reflection. The reason is light ray gets trapped inside that. Normally when light ray hits on a transparent medium, what happens? It enters through the medium and it moves outside, isn't it? But if the ray hits on the medium at an angle greater than the critical angle, that ray gets trapped inside that. So it produces a shining effect. And again about the optical cables, fiber optics. Have you heard about fiber optics? So nowadays we are using these transmission lines. Together with that, fiber optic cables are used for transmitting the signals. So in this case also there won't be any loss. We'll be allowing the light, okay, the signals will be converted to light and it will be allowed to pass through these fiber optic cables. So at first the angle of incidence will be made greater than the critical angle so that the object gets trapped inside that. So many consequences or applications of total internal reflection are there. If I get a video, I'll share that. Okay. So with that, we completed the chapter. Now please go through the questions. Here, exercise 4D given in page number 100. If the answer is there, no need to write. If the answer is not there, please write the answer. I need the drawings, okay, because drawings are very important. Do it with pencil. Okay, so ready? We study this, write this and then study the portion. Thank you.